Westgate Towers in Canterbury, England. I made a survey of the number of vehicles travelling through the towers within an hour over a 30-hour period. Here is the raw data. Here I've organised the data in order of increasing size. From this, by counting from the smallest value upwards and the largest value downwards, I can get the median, the middle value, although I've had to take an average of those two middle values. Some people take the upper of the two middle values instead of doing this. If I now count halfway up and halfway down the lower limb, I get the lower quartile. And if I count halfway up and halfway down the upper limb, I get the upper quartile. These are the values that are a quarter and 3/4 of the way up the ascending values. The interquartile range is the difference between these, and it gives us a measure of spread for the data. The range is simply the difference between the largest value and the smallest value. And the mean is what most people call the average. You simply add together all the values and divide by however many values there were. It has the disadvantage that if there are particular values that are much smaller or much larger than the rest, it will distort the mean quite significantly. Let's go back to the raw data. Again, I've organised it in order of increasing size. But I'm going to make a grouped frequency table. I will have classes within which values will fall and make a note of how many values fall within that class. I take the mean of each class as representing that class. I now multiply the number of values within the class by that middle value. Next, I add together the frequencies to see how many values there were altogether. And then I add together the final column and finally I divide that by the number of values to get an estimate of the mean. You'll notice it's only an estimate of the mean because in forming the classes, more values may be near the top of a class or near the bottom of a class. They're not necessarily grouped around the middle.